specific as you can get, even down to colors.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole thing started out with a Halo JT Kenney Signature Series rod, and I also used a Halo Daylight Heavy Action 7.6. Everything I threw this week, line-wise, was Berkeley 100% fluorocarbon. The Trilene 100% fluorocarbon, 17 pound, not a leader or anything, running the whole thing fluorocarbon. I think these big fish, I would have rather been throwing 25, because they're in some thick, nasty stuff, but I felt like I was getting more bites, but even as strong as Berkeley Trilene fluorocarbon is, I couldn't make myself go any lighter. I think if I would have went lighter, I would have even got more bites, but that and a Gambler Fat Ace, black and blue. I actually threw some Christmas, and I threw a couple of the watermelon red too, and I really honestly don't think it was the color that was making that much difference. I think it was the style of the bait, just that long, kind of do nothing, but a big one, but a long, do nothing type worm. Like I said, the laser trocar TK130 hook and that Rains weight, that Rains is the deal. Like I was explaining earlier with the insert in it, it doesn't tear your line up.
Tell us about your presentation. When you make that pitch out there, are you dead sticking it, you letting it sit, you working it, jigging it?
Yeah, I was actually working it a little slower than dead sticking it. I was working it really slow, but in very specific areas. And when I say very specific areas, I'm talking about like the size of a 5-gallon bucket. Like really, like exactly where I found that fish in practice and shook it off. I went right back there and made repetitive casts. And if they were hot, you didn't need to make repetitive casts. As soon as it got there, your line just starts swimming off. But but like I said, just any kind of place, in a typical spawning area, spawning flats, there's a lot of them on these lakes. But if you could find some real thick cover next to a really open area, you didn't want it where it was like, say, super thick hydrilla and then just like slowly went to into loose hydrilla. You wanted like where there was an absolute where they could make a bed, but yet they had really thick cover right beside it. If it didn't have the really thick cover right beside it, it wasn't going to be a big one. So
wow, that's good information. Yeah.
Yeah, I really got dialed in on that, and and I had some backup fish that I went to up here in Kissimmee. I caught them on that Nichols Pulsator spinnerbait. That's one of my very favorite spinnerbaits. That thing's just a bad dude. You can get a hold of Nichols, and they can even custom make spinnerbaits for you. But they have a lot of new ones, and actually there's going to be a couple of JT Kenney Signature Series skirts coming out for those. And one of them, guess what? One of them is going to be called Toho something or other.
I guarantee you that's good, man.
Because it's one of the ones that I just designed, and that was actually what I was throwing. It's their standard spinnerbait, but it was one of my skirts I designed. So, but that that obviously really saved me yesterday. Catching that 14-something on spinnerbait, and then today, like I said, the weather got nice, and I went back trying to catch some of those big ones on the Fat Ace. The same thing I did the first 2 days, yep. And it all worked out. Really good, obviously, but yeah, I was really dejected with my weight today. But like I said earlier, I think those big ones were just done with their reproductive cycle. They weren't there anymore. They were gone. So, but yeah, that was a big. It's been a long week.